How ya doing? I'm doing great. Tobin, back in the den, episode 20 in my razor review series, the RazoRock Lupo. I have 3 of the 4 plates that are available for this razor, the 0.58, the 7.2, and the 0.95. The only plate I do not have is the 1.27 millimeter. That's a gigantic blade gap. All these plates have the same exposure and the same angle. The only thing that changes is the gap. For the 0.58 and the 0.95, I'll put my scores for them up on the screen. Let's dial in though on the 0.72 millimeter. For me, that is definitely the Goldilocks. The 0.58, I like it with a Kai, a Bolzano, something really sharp. The 0.95, I do enjoy it. It's just a little bit too much of a gap for daily use. But if you have coarse hair or if you only shave every 2 or 3 days, the 0.95 is a great option. But I think that for daily use, a 0.72 or 0.58 will be just right for most guys. Following the same format as the previous razors in this series. Taking a look first at the efficiency score. With it, we're looking at the exposure, whether or not it's positive, and then we'll factor in the blade gap. The angle, there's nothing super fancy or dangerous about it. It's pretty expected, but there's a couple of things that we'll talk about here in a moment. First of all, the exposure, it's positive, and you will notice the blade. It's not as noticeable as maybe a Rex Envoy, but it is more noticeable than the average razor. So that's just something to be aware of. If you don't like blade feel, this might not be for you. If you like blade feel, you're going to love that aspect of it. The blade gap with the 0.72, I'm giving it an efficiency score of 6. Now there's one thing that while we're talking about this that I do want to point out to you, and I'll use the Game Changer as an example. If you look at the head of the Game Changer, it looks like a lot of other razor heads. But one thing you'll notice with the Lupo, this is not a problem for me. I've never noticed it. It's just something I've seen guys talk about, and I've spoken to a few guys about over the years since this came out. So just notice right here that there's a little bit of a indentation of the way that the head and the bottom plate kind of cuts in right there. Got some arrows pointing to it. If you come at it at a funny angle, you might be able to get part of that corner on your skin. I've never ever had a problem with it. That's just something to be aware of. And then also one other place, never been a problem for me, is the drain slots. So you'll see right up there, the lather channels is another thing that they're known as. They're smaller than most razors and a lot smaller than some of the razors from RazoRock. They're small, but they don't ever cause an issue for me. And I do like my lather a little denser, a little thicker than most people. I don't think you'll have any issues with it. I haven't, but you might be one of those guys who do have a problem with it. I don't. It's not an issue for me. So an efficiency score for the 0.72, 6. That moves us down to the Symmetry score with it, the knurling, weight and balance, and blade tabs. I have 8 or 9 different handles from RazoRock. One of the things I love about the heads from RazoRock, besides the way they shave, is all the handle options that you can get. And for cheap, we're talking $14.99 stainless steel, up to around mid to low 20s for some of the handles. On the Lupo, I like to shave nerd, and match handles and heads together, and really find a suitable look for each one. For the Game Changer and for the Lupo, I really like the thick bar. So when it comes to knurling, that's what we're looking at with this razor here today, is what they call the thick bar. This is a recreation of the vintage Gillette common bar. There's also the Gillette thin bar, which they have a version of that as well. So mine is the thick bar, and then there's also the thin bar. With the thick bar, the knurling is fantastic. With this short little nubby handle, 92 millimeters? I have no problems with it at all. I mean, this is just super grippy. It's not sharp. It's perfect. I love this handle where the little cut is right here. Perfect for my finger. And then the other finger right down here on the other little groove. Just, I love this handle. There's no issues at all with the knurling for me. Not sharp. It's good stuff. Man. Weight and balance. I have never noticed an issue with any of the handles on any of my heads from RazoRock. There's some that are maybe better than others. I have played with that, but with this thick bar on this Lupo head, it's perfect. Blade tabs. The blade tabs do not stick out whatsoever on the Lupo. Symmetry score, a 10. I love this razor and this handle matched with this head. Blade alignment, chatter. Next, we're looking at the tolerance score. So with blade alignment, this razor is so set it and forget it. It is so easy to align that no one should have an issue aligning this razor. It has super, super tight tolerances. You can see there with the way that the pins are. It's CNC machined, and it's done to perfection. There's no chatter at all. You lock that thing in there, and she's good to go. The blade alignment and the chatter is perfect. Tolerance score, another 10. This is a fantastic razor. Durability and construction materials. So the thick bar, like a lot of the handles from RazoRock, is 316L stainless steel, and so is the head. So the entire construction of this razor is a CNC machined 316 stainless steel. Durability and construction materials, permanent score, 10. Excuse me, I don't know that I have ever given a razor those 3 10s in a row, but I'm very comfortable giving it to this one. All right, so that then moves us down into the friendliness for new wet shavers. With that, we're looking at a first razor, a second razor, and maybe, depending on your situation, a third razor, whether or not I would recommend it to a new wet shaver. I like to recommend a razor between $30 to $50. Wrote down the prices right over here. You can get, if you buy, it's the way they have it set up, any one of the plates, you get to choose the plate. If you buy the 3-piece set, head, the top cap, the bottom plate, and the handle together, you can get it for $69.99. That's a great price. The top plate by itself is $27, and a bottom plate on its own is $28. I would recommend someone buying at least 2 plates. So if you buy, well, say you buy the .58, that's $70. If it's your very first razor, I might recommend that you stop there. But if we were talking, I would actually try and talk you into getting something like the Rockwell 6C, something cheaper. So because of the $70 price and then the markup, because I would recommend that you get another plate like the .72 or the .95, that's going to jack you up another $38, making the price of the razor $108. The way that I would recommend this razor is that you buy the 3-piece handle, bottom, and top, and then that you buy a second one. So that's going to put you in at $108. So because of that, I would not recommend this to very many new wet shavers. But at the same time, it's not a bad deal because this is a legacy piece. I'm going to give it a 7 because there's so many variables with it. I would feel comfortable with a second razor depending on the person that I'm talking to. You know, this all comes down to individual conversations. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. My link tree is in the description. Love to chat with you about it. I'm not going to make a penny off the sale of this razor. I'm not an affiliate. I just really love RazoRock razors. So friendliness to new wet shaver, score a 7. 5 being average, 10 being don't even have to think about it. 7, it's like you need to think about it, especially because of what I talked about with the way that the head is shaped. Value, it's a 10. For an experienced wet shaver, I think you can buy this razor with confidence, that knowing that it's going to last forever, and that if you are experienced with other RazoRock razors, that it should be an easy buy and one that you're going to get your money's worth. I love this razor. I'll keep this razor in my den forever, and be another one of those razors that when I die, my wife has to figure out what she's going to do with it. It's not going anywhere. It's good stuff, Manders. As always with this series, the focus is value, whether or not I feel like I got my money's worth. And for me, that's the littlest big thing when purchasing new hardware, is whether or not I got a good deal, whether or not I got the value from my dollar. And I feel like with all the RazoRock razors that you can buy them with confidence. You really can. You guys take care. I'll see you next time.